welcome back to our channel. Today I'm a mess because, well, yesterday was a crazy day. So we went to brunch with Caden's grandparents and his little brother and his great grandma, and it was so much fun. It was for my birthday, and my birthday's actually Tuesday, so that was kind of fun. And then me and Caden ended up going to the mall just to kind of walk around. We didn't have Remy. Remy went home with Annie. We're going to go get her today. I'm also filming in the girls' room because he's asleep. He works almost 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, so I'm kind of letting him sleep in a little bit. But anyways, so we did that, and then we went and got this really cool rolled ice cream, and we went and seen a movie, and we snuck into another movie just to kind of, be fun. And so that's what we did yesterday. But today I wanted to tell you a little bit of a backstory because I didn't exactly grow up like most of you. So at a young age, my parents, my mom and my stepdad were abusing drugs, and so we went into the foster care system. A lot of the times I just remember being given to my grandma, and then there was a few times that we did end up like going into the system, and the first family wasn't very good. I'm not gonna bash anybody for anything that they've done, but it just was not a good home. And to those of you who don't know, growing up in foster care isn't easy by any means. That's why I'm going to give my children everything in the world that I can, because I don't ever want them to experience anything like that. Like, it's a terrible thing. This might actually become a two-part video because I can't even explain everything in one video. Like, it's a lot to take in. But growing up in foster care isn't easy by any means. So we were in the first home, I want to say, for maybe 4 to 6 months. We'd have visits with our mom, and at that age I was like, kind of excited to see her because she was my mom, and I was so young. But oh, camera malfunction. Sorry, I don't have the tripod, so I'm trying to set it up on their thing. Let me make sure that it's straight actually, because I don't want it to fall again. Anyways, so we were there for about 4 to 6 months, and it just, I was going through a lot. I had been through a lot of abuse as a kid. I really had, between my mom and my stepdad and, just everything. So we didn't exactly act right. Like, we kind of did act out. We threw fits. Well, I threw fits. And it made it hard. But the foster mom would pin me on the picnic table outside, and, they would lock me in a room. And, I think part of it was I just wanted someone to love me, because the way I had always known love was to be hit and abused. And I mean, whenever I was at my grandma's and my uncle's, I can't remember a time that I acted out like that, because my uncle was going to adopt us. Well, me, because my mom would just kind of drop me off because I was collateral damage to what she needed to do to get her drugs. So later on, it was kind of hard because we got sent to another home, and I can't remember exactly how many homes we went to, but the last home I remember being in was a super high faith home. It wasn't easy at all because, it was like, if you wear pants, you're not a girl, you're a boy. And I had never been the type that wanted to wear dresses or anything. But I ended up getting sent to Lakeland because I hit my sister, and it wasn't easy. But I felt like I was being ganged up on. They were all kind of surrounding me, and I hit my sister, and I ended up going to Lakeland. And so whenever I went, I was there for about 2 months. I don't believe any 9-year-old should be sent to Lakeland for punching somebody. There was people there with actual problems, and I was not one of them. Okay, and you can ask my grandma, any of them, and, like, they'll tell you that's, you know, it was a little uncalled for. It was a little over excessive. Whenever I ended up going, I was told I was parent pickup. I was like, well, I've never been parent pickup. And, our foster mother was standing there with these two people that I didn't know. And she said, they're going to take you away. And that was the first time that, like, I'd officially been split up from my sisters. Because, like, when my mom would drop me off, I'd get split up from them, but I would see them in a couple days. And I knew that. And this was, like, months before I seen my sisters again. And it was really hard. Being in there alone was really hard. I can't remember, like, exactly how everything went, but I know I got, like, one phone call in the morning and one phone call at night, and they could last 5 minutes. And so I usually called my grandma. And then my grandma got me once I was getting out. And I'm not gonna say I was a perfect child. I had been through a lot. And so I acted out. I threw fits. You know, I still was, like, going through that stage. And the place had put me on so much medication that I had gained so much weight. I went from being this little bitty girl to, you know, having some weight. And so my grandma pulled me off all the medicine because it just wasn't good for me or my health. This video is really hard to make, sorry. And so, eventually, you know, I think the fits pretty well quit. Now, I'm not gonna say that I wasn't still a bad child, because when I hit teenage years, let me tell you what, I probably gave my grandma more than her fair share of stress because, well, I was a teenager and I acted out. I believe I was 10. I believe I was 10, and my big sister had passed away from cancer, and we were still with my grandma. I think I was with my grandma all the way up until I was 16. And, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, play the innocent child. I had done some pretty bad shit to my grandma. It wasn't easy by any means. I regret it all. She didn't deserve that, and she was just trying to be a mother, and she'd already raised her kids. I mean, she just wanted to be a grandma, and she couldn't really do that. Now we have an amazing relationship, and I love my grandma to pieces. I literally miss the crap out of her. Like, I've been wanting to go to West Plains these past few weeks just to see her because I miss her, and I was there last month. So, I live a couple hours away, so it's kind of a drive, but we get there every once in a while. But it wasn't easy by any means. I remember summers she would send me to my great-grandma's, and honestly, I'm glad she did, if I'm being 100% honest. It kept me out of trouble for the most part, and my great-grandma became one of my best friends. When we went back into the system, it was kind of because of my middle sister, I want to say. Me and her were both the middle children, and so she's younger than me by a year. So we went back into the system. We lived with this really nice family. She was a cop, and he was an ex-Marine. My grandma signed up her custody rights, and it was great. I had been there almost 2 years, and sorry, this is where it's gonna get hard. Hannah ran away. And it made it hard for me because, you know, I'm not gonna say it wasn't perfect, but it was like a family for once. And I felt so at home. Sorry. Anyways, so we had talked about them getting custody, And it was easier to wait the 3 months before my birthday because it could take up to 6 months if they filed the paperwork, because I had to stay in the newspaper just in case my mom wanted to say something about it, you know. So we were already in full swing. Well, then Hannah had kind of reached out to me. Between her and Dessa, Dessa was who she was staying with, but between them, they'd kind of reached out to me both and was like, you know, you would do better here, you'd be with your sister, blah blah blah, and I was already away from one of them. Now, granted, I thought I had found my forever home. So, anyways, we had gone through so much in that house, and we had gone through so much just growing up. Hannah was, you know, at the time I was like, okay, well, she's family, I've gotta, you know, she kind of got in my head. And so I ended up moving after the first day of senior year, which is not what I wanted to do, but it's what I did. I moved from a high school I'd been at all 4 years to a high school I didn't know anybody at. So when I moved, it was not easy because I didn't make friends very easily. I never had. So I moved from the group of friends that I knew and loved to high school I didn't really know anyone at. Oh my god. I feel like a baby right now. Sorry. Anyways, to a high school I didn't really know anyone at. So it was really hard because of the fact that I wasn't a very social person. I've always been kind of social online and everything, and so I kind of stayed in touch with like my best friends and stuff from West Plains, and luckily one of them, her mom lived in Alton, so she had went to Alton every couple weekends and stuff, so I would still see her once in a while, but not very often. Chloe was an amazing person. She was there for me, even though she had already graduated school. I knew her at the time I was dating someone, and she was also dating someone. They were roommates, and so we kind of met through that, and we became friends, and really she was the only one that I was like friends with. Then there was a girl in a few of my classes named Ashley, and she had kind of, you know, became friends with me because I didn't really have friends. I mean, I ate lunch in my classroom. I mean, you know, I really felt out of place. So senior year was pretty awkward. About October to November, I'm not going to go into a lot of details about it because it's still really touchy to me, but my foster dad started to do stuff that was inappropriate, and nobody would listen. Caseworker wouldn't listen. Nobody really believed me. And I was like, why would I lie about this? Like, so finally, I don't even know how it all happened, but it like all went down. And we ended up getting sent to a friend of theirs' house for a while. And so one day at school, our caseworker comes and picks us up, and we ended up going to Springfield because we both got removed from the home. Sorry, I'm really stuffy since, you know. Anyways, so we went to Springfield and we got put in a group home kind of situation. It was kind of like an emergency placement for foster kids who didn't have anywhere to go, because 2 teenage girls, nobody's just gonna take them in, right? So we got there in November. I didn't leave till the end of February, but Hannah left at, I want to say it was like the beginning of January. When she left, God. Okay, when she left, it was so hard because it was like I was alone. again. I'm sorry. It was like I was alone again. And so here I was in this place where I didn't really know a lot of people, and kids would just come and go. So it was like, you didn't really want to make friends because they would eventually leave you. But the staff was amazing. I've got to say that. They were so amazing. And I'm actually friends with a lot of them on Facebook now. Sorry. I need a minute to regroup. So, I think this video is harder to make because I'm pregnant. But when she left, it was really hard. And so the next few months kind of went by and I hadn't heard anything from my caseworker. Like, I was just sitting there and I was like, what am I gonna do? So my 18th birthday was coming around and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just gonna age out. And so she was like, well, there's this transitional living. It'll kind of help you, you know, see everything that you need to see before you get out there on your own. Because had I gotten out there on my own, I literally had no place to go. So at the time, I had been in touch with, I'm just gonna call him GA on here. So GA, he lives in Springfield, and he reached out to me, and I believe he's my father, but a lot of people says he's not, and he believes it because at the time him and my mom were, you know, but my mom doesn't even know who my dad is. So even if he's not, and I know a lot of people don't like him, even if he's not my father, he's an amazing friend to my family and to me. And to me, honestly, not having parents, to me, it gives me that, like, closure. It makes my heart whole because nobody understands what it's like to not have parents. I mean, yeah, like, if you lose a parent, you would understand, but you don't know what it's like to grow up and not feel like you're wanted. Let me just put it that way. So anyways, he lived in Springfield, and at the time I was looking at a transitional living home in Willard and in Kansas City, and I got accepted to both, and I chose to go to Kansas City where I didn't know anyone and to kind of restart. I figured it'd be good for me to kind of, you know, get a head start. Well, that first day nobody really talked to me. I went outside, played basketball, just kind of, you know, hung out with myself. I unpacked all my stuff and went from there. One of the guys that I had dated in high school lived in Kansas City, and so, you know, we hung out, and I just noticed that he didn't really, like, text me a whole lot. Like, he would text me once in the morning, and then he wouldn't text me all day. But he was, like, active and posting stuff, and so I was just like, I'm not gonna put up with that. I'm not gonna be, like, second choice. So we ended up, like, not getting together. We had hung out a couple times, but we didn't get together. So, I was in a girls' transitional living home, and there was a boys' transitional living home. We all kind of hung out outside on the basketball court, blah, blah, blah. But I had actually become friends with a lot of the girls in the home, and so whenever I got asked if I wanted to age out after my birthday, it was kind of hard because it was like I'd made all these friends and now I'm gonna leave them, and I didn't really have a lot of people to call, so I called GA. He had helped me so much whenever I moved up there by helping me, you know, get started on my feet and everything, because when I was in the group home, Hannah ended up stealing my phone. I paid her $80 on it. I still owed her $120, but I was gonna get it to her. Like, you know, I was like, and she stole a bunch of my clothes and stuff. And so I moved up there and I didn't have like all of my stuff. So it was really hard by everything. So he had helped a lot. He helped me like get a phone and everything so I could stay in touch and, you know, find a job. I had found a job at Walmart and I couldn't transfer because I hadn't been there for 6 months, but there was no way I could have been there for 6 months because I was aging out in March. So I moved down to Springfield, and my boyfriend at the time, Max, was also in Springfield. So we kind of stayed in touch. We weren't really together at that point, but we had kind of stayed in touch. Well, when I was living with GA, I'd met Caden. Well, I say that. Me and Caden met on social media in 2016, and in 2017, I want to say, 2017, 2018, I'd asked for a Snapchat. We started Snapchatting, we became closer friends. In March of 2018, I moved down to Springfield, and he lived past Rogersville. That's all I knew. And so he said that he was going to be in Springfield and asked me if I wanted to hang out. So we went and hung out. And basically that's like a whole nother story. But I just want to say to anyone in foster care, especially if you're watching this video, don't give up. I'm 19 years old. I'm almost 20. Tuesday I will be 20. And you make family. You might not find the family that you want or that wants you. And that's okay, because a lot of people are in it for the wrong reason. And one day I will become a foster parent, just so, because I know what it's like. And you won't find everything you're looking for in someone. Trust me, I still haven't found that perfect family, but the family I do have is amazing. And it might be scattered, and it might be, you know, people that are more friends than family, but friends become family. So don't ever give up, because I know it's really hard. If you're going through a rough time and your caseworker won't listen to you, take it to a counselor at school. Take it to a higher power. I mean, someone out there is going to listen to you. And honestly, if you're just going through a hard time, reach out to someone. Foster care is not easy to go through, and a lot of people don't understand that. But growing up in foster care for what time I did, I understand. I mean, even when I wasn't in foster care, all I wanted was a mom and a dad. And to this day, I still don't feel like I have it. So when it comes down to it, just remember that you're loved by somebody out there. Whether it be a friend who's like your sister or your grandparents. Just don't ever forget that. So, that being said, I'm going to end this video. I will do probably some more videos like this, like how me and Caden met and, you know, how that all came to be. But this video was really hard for me to make. So, you know, it's an emotional topic. But I also have been in the middle of writing a book about it because it will help a lot of people out there. But when we reach 100 subscribers, right now we are at 42. When we reach 100 subscribers, we are giving away an iPad or an iPod or something like that. We're going to go to Target. We're going to lay 4 on the floor, and we're going to let Remy pick what we give away. So that being said, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you don't ever miss a video. And hit that like button if you like this video, because I can make more like this. I know this is a touchy subject, and I honestly didn't get into everything, but I feel like that's something I need to do when I'm not pregnant, because this is really hard to do when you're pregnant because you're super emotional. So that being said, hit that subscribe button, because I would want to win an iPad or an iPod or a Fuji camera, you know, something like that. So anyways, if you like these videos, give them a thumbs up so I know, because I can do more like this. Anyways, yeah, bye.